everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tuber. Welcome back. If this is your 8th and final High School Musical, the musical of the series, season 3 episode review, it's the last one. It flew by pretty fast. The third season has come and gone. There was a lot to dissect, and I think I'm going to say this wholeheartedly. This season, this episode felt like a natural conclusion to what the first mostly act of High School Musical, the musical of the series, was, where things could go from here, as well as it just felt like a great episode overall. I feel like it wasn't perfect. There definitely was some things that I would have said they should have done better. However, given the limited time they had, and even though it was an extended episode, almost 45 minutes, excluding credits, I think it was great overall. Definitely was a great capper to season 3. Definitely did not feel rushed at all. And I cannot wait to see where things go in season 4. And that's the sign of a good season finale. If it like really makes you excited what is going to fucking happen in season 4. And talking about when I went to the last episode review, saying that the information we got out of D23, like now it's even encapsulated, like next season, bullishly saying this could probably be the best season of the show, but for right now, this was the best episode of the show thus far. I want to get to it right away because there's a lot to talk about. I can't hold back anymore. So let's go for the Butcher recap for the last time for season 3 for High School Musical, the musical, the series. So we begin. It's the morning of. It's Ricky's birthday. He's now the big old 1-8. He's now the oldest East High Wildcat now on camp. And everyone's happy for it, and even EJ makes a joke of like, we're literally an opening day and we're not 100% ready, but sure, we're going to take time out of our very limited schedule to celebrate Ricky's birthday because we're all good friends here and everyone's there, boys and girls included, to celebrate. But it wouldn't be a Ricky birthday without the one and only Big Red. That's right, he finally appears after so damn long. And again, kudos to Similar of how when Miss Jen came about, I think a few episodes ago, when she came up, I was like, so what did I miss? And he was like, oh, I hope you guys didn't outgrow me in the last 2 weeks you've been away. Like, hopefully nothing happened in the last 2 weeks. Oh, God, so much has happened. But no, they're all happy to see him again. Obviously, Ash is a little bit kind of concerned considering the fact she just discovered that she is bi. So it's a big question. How does she broach the subject with Big Red? You know, how does that really, turn out for them? How do you have that conversation? But first, right now, they're focusing on Ricky's birthday. And apparently Ricky's like, he left Big Red the last responsibility of his bucket list by buying him a lotto ticket. And Big Red's like, lotto ticket? Wait, you somehow accomplished walking the moon? And I'm just like, wait, when did he walk the moon? I completely forgot. I completely missed that part. But yeah, so everyone's there to celebrate Ricky's birthday, except for Gina, who's still not there. It's still pretty much fresh, the breakup between her and EJ. But anyway, so we pick it up after the theme. Gina's doing some sort of yoga meditation in the middle of like a back of a cabin, and she was just waiting for someone to just come in and like interrupt her because she got bored of it after a while. But she kind of felt like, well, I started this, I'm gonna finish it until someone interrupts me. It's Val. Apparently, Val's getting all of her goodbyes out of the way since she has to leave pretty early, even though camp isn't over yet. But she has to leave first thing the next morning, so she's just getting her goodbyes now since the plays tonight. They're probably gonna be celebrating, and she doesn't want to be a bummer to any of them. So she's saying goodbye, and they're trying to kind of just making peace a little bit, just regardless of things. Gina says they're still pretty cool after everything. Ricky shows up, originally anticipating for Gina to be more upset at him, but no, she's perfectly A-okay right now. But mostly she was talking about her breakup with EJ, that it's fine. Today we're focusing on the play, and, anything else I'm feeling, we'll focus on that, later on in life. And that's honestly the best answer she has. But of course, Ricky's still hiding his feelings for her. So there's so much more to be said about that front. I believe next up, Gina's walking back to the dressing room so they could start prepping for the makeup for the show the night, and she runs into some of the younger theater kids, the one we saw earlier in episode 3 or 4. They got cast to play young Ella, I think those are the names. I apologize, I still haven't seen Frozen yet. And they're still a little gung ho, a little bit shy about the whole thing. Since even though they have like very limited time in the play, they're still like gotta go to upstage. They're pretty much a big focus in the first act, and they're kind of scared of it. And Gina just gives the one that she's the actress that's playing her character's younger self some advice that what, just be you, just you'll be fine. You're a theater kid, and you're gonna do great. Like just be yourself, and she does so. And I'm guessing she's saying this one this character, right? She's only in a couple scenes. I forget about what the heck they were really talking about, to be honest with you. But she performs the Camp Rock finale song, "This Is Real, This Is Me," and I don't remember seeing Camp Rock. I think I have growing up. I think I've maybe caught the first movie, but not the second one, and even that one was like a very vague memory in my brain, to be honest with you. But regardless of that front, just honestly forgetting about the original, this was a really damn good adaptation. This was a really good rendition. It was just this character singing the whole song. The other characters kind of like just chiming in a little bit, but this was mainly her song, kind of like just giving them like setting them up for like this big play, this like massive production about to happen, and that they'll all be great at the end of the day. So they're all starting to get dressed up. Miss Jen is there to support her fellow babies, as she calls them for some reason. And Nini's there. I'm like, oh my God, finally. Like, if Nini didn't show up in this finale, I'm like, okay, there was like a clear light. Yeah, I'm only here for 2 episodes and I'm out. No, she's here. She's had a pretty eventful 2 weeks in California. She's been writing a lot of songs. She's been like getting some real actual progress done in her music. And, she's pretty satisfied with her progress. However, she's noticing that the massive improvement she's been getting when she's in California compared to when she was in Salt Lake City is very noticeable, and her moms are actually, liking California a lot. And there's a bit of an easy move-in process because her birth dad has a guest house that they can all move into temporarily. But they're still thinking, well, why don't you just finish out East High? Finish out your senior year there, and then we can focus on moving you to California when you're in college or in your college years. And as much as she kind of wants to, like, just to be there for like the next High School Musical and to be there with her friends again, to be there from the get-go, even Miss Jen says, like, look, it's just a High School Musical. You have an opportunity to maybe make the big leagues at such a young age. You got to take that opportunity. But Nini's still undecisive. She's still going to wait till the play happens and see where her mindset is at afterwards. And they'll go from it from there. So they're gonna let everyone else rehearse. So everyone's getting ready in the dressing room. Everything's going well, and the motivation's high. Everyone's kind of in good spirits. The producer / cameraman walks in and says that, hey, we're doing a special Disney Plus live stream event where we get to pitch the actual play to the entire world, but we want to like really spice it up. We want to really flare it up for y'all. So we're gonna do that. And you gotta resume that fake dramatic BS they tried a few episodes ago to make it. But of course, since they put so much love and work into this play, to kind of have to, self-ruin it just for the sake of fame doesn't sit well with them. At first, EJ kind of just agrees, like, oh yeah, we'll do it, no problem, but just to get him away. And they all agree, like, no, we're just going to perform the play as we rehearsed it, do our best, and just go for it. But everyone's just kind of giving the side eye, like, are you really making sure about that, Mr. Director dude, who's now dressed up as the fucking as the moose? So the play begins. Gina's still getting some last minute, jitters. Even some words from Gina doesn't really. I'm sorry, I meant Courtney. Courtney's been getting some last minute pre-show jitters. But that doesn't even work out. But they still continue. Everyone's there. All the camper. For some reason, Jason Earls is not there. We do not get one more appearance from him. His cameo last week was the last we saw of his character, which is honestly disappointing. That's like one of the few aspects I did not like about this finale. We did not get a proper send up to Jason Earls, which was very, very disappointing. So the play's going pretty well. The young actresses are really like performing. They're really doing their best. So that's going pretty well. Everyone's just having fun. Nini's just kind of in that weird, like, no one can see her from the back and everyone's just focusing on the play. So she's just like, just being a casual viewer. I'm pretty sure that Olivia Rodrigo did not film her scenes with the rest of everyone else. She kind of was off screen somewhere. Also, I got to say this flat out before I forget. That red dress she was wearing, that red outfit, perfection. It was perfect. You could probably see by all the red that's behind me. I'm so biased. Anywho, Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so the first act ends, and Courtney has to go up and sing the fabled song of the movie, "Let It Go," but she's still getting that last minute jitters. The person who's playing her younger self, i.e. her character, is giving her also like a last minute thing, like, look, you're gonna have anxiety for the rest of your life. You know, that's something that isn't gonna go away. Honestly, I can relate. But she said you gotta learn to manage with it and kind of deal with it. And also, this could be the moment where you like really shine the brightest, like something big is gonna happen. Like this is like the peak of it. She goes out, she does a great rendition of it. I still think that the original is still the better. Again, I haven't seen Frozen, but obviously everyone's heard of that song already. So, but for me personally, Courtney did her the best rendition she could, and it was great. But the producer notices this, is like, okay, this show's coming out way too smoothly. It's going way too perfectly. We need to spice things up. So he turns off the power to the whole theater to kind of keep the suspense going. And it's similar fashion to when Ricky and EJ did for Nene, as well as what they did during this rehearsal with the whole like taking out your cell phones and eliminating light on it. Everyone in the crowd does it to give Courtney more light so she can finish off the rest of the song. Gina notices what the producer did, flips it back on, and everyone just wants to kick his ass. And I'm like, yeah, kick that fucking asshole's ass. They continue throughout the play. There really isn't anything noticeable. They hit intermission. Nene steps in briefly to kind of give everyone like, you know, some pre-show, post-show, like, you know, thank you cards. That's in tradition since the first season. It's pretty sweet and memorable. While Ricky is like, he hears this and everyone got a card except him, which honestly I was like, at first like, bro, you serious? That's how you're gonna write it off? I mean, damn. And the way Ricky said the delivery is like, Nene's here, and it's like, yeah, it's still heartbreaking because they haven't really seen each other since school ended, or maybe at least maybe they just avoided each other since the last play ended, and they haven't really seen each other since then. It's still heartbreaking that, you know, yeah, they broke up for the benefit of trying to let each other improve themselves to the place they need to be. And you know, the fact that he didn't get a card was, it kind of, I can tell it hurt him a little bit. But Nene was actually doing the finishing touches on Courtney's gigantic, you know, thank you card. And everyone already heard the news that, yeah, Nene's back, and Courtney finds her. And it was very sweet that of the three characters that, the limited characters that Nene associated with, it was powerful. It was like very sentimental. It was Miss Jen, someone who really motivated her, really pushed her to like go to the next level. Her moms, who have been very supportive of her newfound dad, and now Courtney, her best friend since the start of the show. Like, it was very poignant that these were the characters that she interacted with throughout just her limited role in this season. And just seeing them back together, I'm pretty sure, again, it's like, this is the first time they've seen each other in like more than a year, and just being back together in the same room, you know, I'm pretty sure the sparks were high there. And, you know, just, I think there was an underlying feeling that Courtney knew, like, yeah, she was going to go, but like even Nene knew, like, this was, things were starting to turn. Like, she was deciding, like, East High is in good hands. If I'm not there, they're in good hands. So they finish up the play. Ricky performs one of the songs from Frozen again, and it was kind of like detrimental for me because it felt like a callback to where Ricky was in the center of this very weird quadrangle. I think that's the terminology of math, four-sided things, where the show started, where like you have the four main characters and what they were in. Now in the case of like, Ricky's clearly attracted to Gina. Gina's still getting for reviews for EJ, but she does have something for Ricky. EJ's still hoping Gina is going to take him back. And then you have Nene just standing there kind of like a shadow, like, you know, like she was prevalent in this time period, but she's not there. Like, her presence is felt, but the time for this is kind of dissipating. It's kind of ending. And I think that was a really poignant moment during the play itself, in the episode. The play finishes. They all do pretty great. They get a standing ovation. Miss Jen runs out to go find. Oh yeah, I forgot before we mentioned. Big Red, during one of Ashley's brief moments of like resting, goes up to her and tells her, like, look, I love you. I think we're meant to be together forever. And, you know, like, you know, this summer's proved to me that, like, you know, I learned some things, and I definitely learned that, you know, we are meant to be together. And Ashley doesn't really say the exact words. She just confirms, like, you know, we're all good. We're still together. That's all that counts. And Big Red, being the naive person he is, takes it as a victory. But, like, you know, it hurts a little bit when, like, you say those powerful words, a powerful statement, and it's not returned to you. It hurts a bit. So to go back to the end of the play, Miss Jen goes to find Nene to kind of, like, you know, so they can go see the others together. Nini's not there where they were agreed to meet. All she does is find a letter from her saying that she's decided that she's going to go move out west, that, East High is in good hands, that everyone performed amazingly without her again for the second time in a row, that she's not needed at East High. She's not. She can go west and kind of start something new, whatever that may hold for her. And we then get to see Nini drive away from Shallow Lake, and it was a way for Olivia Rodrigo to say goodbye to the cast. Maybe she'll come back down the road for a cameo or for a guest star appearance, but this was her goodbye. But I'll talk more about that at the end. That I was very mixed about this goodbye. But she leaves Shallow Lake prematurely, doesn't say goodbye to anyone, because even in her letter she said goodbye means it's over, that there will definitely never be a return, and she wants to keep the door open that she could come back to see them again, but she can't confront them because she knows that she's going to change her mind. And I can relate to that, because I think when Michael Scott was leaving, when Steve Carell was heading out, his character opted not to come on his final day because he knew that he probably would have changed his mind and he probably would have stayed. It would have hurt him too much to say goodbye to everyone, and to say goodbye in general is just heartbreaking. It hurts so much that there's a chance you may never see them again, and they want to keep the door open to that. And I understand that wholeheartedly. I really do. So Big Red and Miss Jen meet up with the others. She's very proud of them. She hugs them all and, congratulates them. Corbin Bleu and the producers show up, and, the producers still trying to get some more takes for the documentary. And Corbin's like, enough. Like, you're done. Like, you've gone way too far. And honestly, my only opinion of this is that Corbin was a little bit of a stuck-up person throughout the beginning. And this was a clear, 90-degree where, he still had some moments of, let's just say rudeness, but he was more nicer this time around. I think the kids have finally rubbed in on him. And also it was actually pretty sweet that he actually remembered somewhat of Miss Jen when she was on the first movie, as the cut cam. That honestly was that was a really good callback. It's they remembered. I thought it was just going to be Corbin just oh, hey, nice to see you. That was really cool to see. And, to get them to have a little hug and everything. So Corbin fires the producer, but the producer's like, you know what? At the end of the day, I still have final say in the editing room, so I'm gonna still make my winning class documentary, so bye-bye. And Corbin does the thing everyone's been waiting for. It's time. He finally said, what team? And it was oh my God, to hear Corbin say that again after so many years, it was just perfect. It really was. And just to have everyone just kind of, sink in as well, and just kind of, agree with it, what team Wildcats, and it was perfect. It was perfect. I don't know why I sound like Homelander from The Boys. So they're all happy, but of course they all feel in the air that, something has changed. Something has, it definitely feels like the closing of a chapter and the beginning of something new. And Miss Jen says it best, sometimes these moments, they lead into better things, and they lead into the best things to come, even if it hurts to close a chapter. It hurts to say goodbye, or it hurts to get major changes on the way. It's necessary to make it happen. These moments happen. And they all start singing a rendition of Every Day, and it's not in a romantic cue. It's more of a solemn, wrap up of what they've been through throughout the last 3 seasons, throughout this summer, the past 2 weeks, this season. And I honestly love, I love both of these I love both of these takes. I really do. I was very satisfied with this. They all headed outside to do some marshmallows, do some s'mores to kind of celebrate the completion of the Frozen play. It turns out, Jet found out that Nini actually did leave a card for Ricky, but it was just hidden behind the couch for some reason. Ricky reads it off camera, but everyone knows that, yeah, Nini's gone, that she's not coming back. And they all hug and embrace, with the Camp Shallow Lake logo kind of fading in. And, this is definitely the closing of a chapter. Nothing's going to be the same after this. 1 month later, for some complete reason, it feels like 5 years later, because most of these characters look completely freaking different. They're at the premiere for Frozen, the musical, the documentary. Very small turnout for the red carpet. I don't know who they were going to be paying for the audience, but there was a lot of people there. The whole cast has kind of changed appearances. Some people dyed their hair. Some people changed their looks. It's been a very interesting 1 month away. An interesting 1 month time jump, but it seems like they're all in a decent place. The only updates at this point is that Maddie and Jex have, kind of rekindled, returned back to a decent standing as brother and sister. Everyone's just trying to start to live a regular life, and then some viewers are still trying to like begin to cash in on the career and their future success on this documentary. But yeah, I think going forward, yeah. So they get into the auditorium. They're kind of gonna do a Q&A after the documentary's premiered, and their Corbin is gonna get them ready by showing them the first trailer, the full length trailer for the documentary. And in true reality show fashion, it is completely heavily edited. They use real life lines. They misinterpret it, but they have some pretty big revelations. More or less painting certain people as romantic interests, giving conflict to character that doesn't really have conflict, using pre-existing lines. And also the fact of the other main thing that we notice is that Big Red is apparently bi as well. And Ricky's like, you know what? Good for him. Even though, like, aren't you still friends with the dude? I'm like, it's like, what the heck is going on? The Gina and Ricky feelings come out via that confessional. And yeah, everyone's just kind of like in disarray, freaking Carl's like, I gotta call my boyfriend. Ashley's like, I gotta call my boyfriend. Courtney's like, I gotta call my agent. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, you got an agent? Jen and Max kind of like sneak off because like they kind of don't want to be a part of this. EJ gets a little bit miffed about the whole Ricky Gina pair up, and he's like, I should have seen this coming. And it's like, it kind of gives me, if anyone knows this, a total drama flashback when Trent found out like Duncan and Gwen were like into each other and like eventually dated. And he's like, yeah, who knows? I guess I should have saw this coming. And it's like, it's kind of, serendipitous. Once Corbin kind of tells the feeling like, yeah, this Q&A is definitely not going to happen at this point. He turns off the camera and leaves, leaving Ricky and Gina alone. And Gina just tells her, find out like, yeah, I've always since the first day I met you, like you've always been like that unpredictable, what are you to me type feeling. And yeah, I do have feelings for you that cannot be denied anymore. It's up to you now what you're going to do with that information. And before Gina can leave, Ricky kisses her. And it's honestly like seeing that moment, it felt weird for me because again, you pitched the show as like, this is not High School Musical. This is not going to be a Ricky and Nene story. And then it becomes a Ricky and Nene story in some way. And then you break them up and then you become an EJ and Gina story. Now it's like Ricky and Gina. It's like, it's all over the place. I know high school's like that as well. Like things change. Everything, can be different. It's like what Sharpay said in High School Musical too. Like summer changes everything. And in that movie, nothing really changes. Like they just got stronger. This time around, they're all in like complete, like, what the hell is next? I mean, we know what's next, but do they know what's next? And, they kiss, and that's the end of the episode, end of the season. And that was it for High School Musical, the series, season 3. Whew! That took a while than expected. I'm getting a little sweaty here. So anyway, yeah, I thought this episode was great. I think this was very much a very well-woven way to wrap it up. Again, like I mentioned before, not giving Jason Earl any love. I felt pretty bummed. Damn it, not again. Not giving Jason Earl any love to finish off his character. I mean, I know his character didn't really have much to do. He was just a traditional annoying camp counselor. I get that, but it would have been nice to like see him go one more time, just do one more thing, but that didn't really happen. The other thing is that I'm really bummed that Nene didn't have a proper goodbye. And that's the weird thing for the story. It makes sense to why she didn't want to go and see everyone else again. And it could have been Olivia, like just her very limited time to do the show just to finish up her character. She probably can only have done it like, I could either imagine this to have been very last scenes they shot for the show, for the season, or this was the first things they did before. Obviously, again, if you've been blind, Olivia blew the hell up. She's headlining tours. She's like a big pop music star right now. So her doing a Disney Plus show is definitely not what anyone of her talent agency probably wants her to do, but to give like a true like respect to the fans, because like, I'm pretty sure this was the show to actually really give her a bigger platform to like really show her case herself as a real artist, and for that success to like have worked out for her, and like like at least she came back to like give some sort of farewell for now. It's not a goodbye, but it definitely is not a good. It's not definitely like a I'll be back. It's not. It's in that in between state that you really don't know what is next. We could see Nene again next season. We might not. But they're doing a whole new thing now, and that doesn't involve Nene. And the thing that kind of like bummed me out a little bit is that they know Nene's presence isn't there anymore. And I know this entire season wasn't about like, oh, Nene's gone. They've dealt with an entire summer without her, and they were fine. And I feel like they're going to do it again. And, it just hurt me a little bit that they didn't really put a little bit more acknowledgement about it, like a little bit more. Like what they did was great. They could have done a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, also not getting to see Ricky and Nene have like one more scene together was, regardless of the gossip, regardless of the rumors and everything, the drama that happened behind the scenes, even if that's all true, it still hurt. They could have put aside the differences, like to just give one more closure scene, just like, one more, like, this is a goodbye for us. We may never be together again, but I want you to keep doing what you're doing and figure out yourself and be better, and same to her. And like, that would have been a very nice scene. I understand why they had to cut it. Like, it probably just wouldn't fit the flow of the episode. I was hoping that maybe when she was driving out, Ricky was just going to run up there and just say stop and give her one more, talk, or one more, I was hoping, but it didn't happen. And it was like, even like when Ricky got heartbroken that he didn't get a letter from Nene, like it was felt. But then when he got one at the end and he was like, okay, she remembered. Okay, good. We're still good. And that was great. The time skip was a little bit weird. It definitely was just to tease us what season 4 is going to be for these characters. Will fame get to their head? Obviously, we know what's going to happen next season a little bit, so there's still a lot of questions to be asked there. And I'm really excited to see where things are going to go next season. And this definitely set up a decent place to like figure out what is next for them, what is going to be the next big thing for them to like really figure out as a group next. Because they're still a family. They're still the same feeder kids we know and love, just now a little bit differently. And that's what gets me interested for what is next for them. What is their and what's the next chapter of their story? I want to see it now, but they haven't started work on that yet. But we will soon enough. Hopefully next year. But again, at the end of the day, their adaptation of Frozen was really well done. It just falls in line with like the others, with HSM and Beauty and the Beast. We got to see the important parts. We got to see what really worked and what we really need to see. It didn't waste its time doing an entire adaptation, and it did what it needed to do, and it was great. So yeah, I think that's all my thoughts on it now. The whole big red twist was like, not really a twist, but like, was it kind of expected? Was it not kind of expected? I don't know. That's something we have to talk about next season, or we'll talk about it soon. We'll see what happens first. But I think that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, I'm going to give this episode, I nearly forgot the ending stuff. I'm going to give this episode 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this finale to High School Musical, the musical, this series, season 3. Let's talk about down below. And then, that was an end. That's a wrap on our HSMTMTS season 3 episode reviews. I can't believe it's over again. We've gone through 3 of them already. Jeez, where does the time go? It's soon enough. It'll be time for season 4. And I swear to God, season 4 is going to break the internet. There's going to be more fans. There's going to be more. I guarantee it. I can't wait. But that's next season. That's next time around. If you're unaware, this has been What's the 2 from ActionX, reviewing every episode of HSMTMTS. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's the 2 besides those reviews, we're currently doing DC Stargirl episode reviews every week for season 3 after brand new episode on the CW on Wednesday nights. If you don't care about HSMTMTS, you're still in luck. Next week, we're doing a season 4 predictions video. I have a lot to say on that season. And it's going to be a blast. Next season is truly going to be a blast. So stay tuned to my thoughts about that next week. And then the week after that, we'll be doing a season 3 review, spoiler free, for people who have yet to catch the 3rd season of HSMTMTS. But that'll be coming to you very soon. And then that will wrap up our coverage. And then we'll hopefully be back next year for season 4. But that'll be way later on. But again, this has been What's the 2 from ActionX. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Ring that bell for notification when our next episode reviews live. Please also follow us on social media to stay up to date with any sort of updates we may have for either of our channel. Ring the bell, as well as please follow, like, and share as always. But until we see each other again, Wildcats, if you'll see me in the next couple of weeks, I'll see you then. But if this is the end of the road for now, thank you so much for joining me on another HSM adventure. This has been fun as always. It's going to be even much more fun time next time around. So hopefully stay safe out there, be good to each other, And for all you Wildcats together, you know what I'm going to say. What team? I'm not doing the Wildcats part.